Every year, millions of people worldwide spend billions of dollars on music, theater, sports, and other live entertainment. From metal to monster trucks, rap to wrestling, kids to country, Pushing Cases is dedicated to all of the people on past, present, and future road crews that make sure the show always goes on. Check it! On this episode, we're pushing cases with
What's up? Pushing Cases, Gina Baker. What's up? Barker. Sorry. What am I? God.
You're like everybody else. I'm like, why don't see the R?
Dyslexia. I don't know.
Barker or Baker. It's never Barker.
Okay. Well, I stand corrected. I apologize. That's why we do these things, to get to the crux of the matter, shall we?
I know. It used to be like I could tell people like Bob, but nobody knows who Bob Barker is anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, Bob, the price is right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gina. A quick intro how we know each other. I met her while I was touring with Bob the Builder for a few months, just the tail end of the U.S. leg.
I know.
I was driving Scoop. Yeah, I wish I could have done it longer, but we had a good time. I had a great time.
You would have had fun with our beginning cast because they were wild and crazy and
all of the stories I heard. Yeah,
and they were all introduced to the Texan way from Sloan and Miss Penny, and so that whole transition between like them trying to understand what Sloan was saying, and they'd come to me in the wardrobe room and go, "What did she say?"
Talk about baptism by fire, huh? Goodness.
Yeah, that was pretty good. One time, she was praising them and said, y'all did such a good job. Y'all eat meat?" And they were like, "Jelly meat? What?" She's like, "No." She said, "Y'all eat meat. She wants to take you out for a steak dinner." They were like, "Okay."
Sure. Yes.
We're learning that. I said, "That's what they do in Texas. They take you out to steak dinner."
It is hospitality, right?
Yeah.
Now, so tell us a little bit, give us the 411 about Gina for the people who don't know.
Well, I started out in 1986 as an ice skater with Disney on Ice.
Okay.
So that's where I began. Right out of high school, I auditioned and got the job. So off I went, like, "Oh, I'm going to the ice show." I'd skated my whole entire life, competed and trained and all that in Massachusetts.
Wow.
And so I joined the ice show, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, like, "Oh, let's go," and opened a whole world. So I stayed there for 15 years and toured the world many times and experienced a lot of cool people and places, and performing for all kinds of different audiences all around the world, Japanese and Australia, and just had a great time, like Europe tours and learning characters and I was always in a character because I'm on the shorter end, which was a great experience.
Yeah. And
a
what
lot of
shows?
people don't like that,
Well, and what shows were you on?
I started out on a show called Sport Goofy.
Okay.
And which was all like the characters doing different sports. Back then, there was not even Disney movies out that they were emulating. So they had somebody writing and, creating a show around the characters.
Okay.
And so as we went along, Little Mermaid came out and they had music. And so they started to do like a whole show of ice skating, with the Disney. Feld Entertainment basically, buys the rights to use Disney and partners with them. And so we became, Disney on Ice. And then I did Pinocchio, which was a full-length show, and just kept going. So I've done a lot of different shows and characters, and that's where I kind of got that whole character thing in me and the love for, entertaining kids through characters, which is awesome.
And is that what you do today?
Well, now,
kids, what are you doing today?
Today I've got a show that I've created it's a brand called Planet Peekaboo.
Okay.
So I've been developing that for many years while touring still, while pushing cases. So push cases, create my show, push case, so in between shows, on breaks, whatever, I've been developing this show. And actually during COVID really helped us push forward because we were stuck at home. And so I have a partner, and he writes all the music. And that was a great combination. Like I had this brand for a while, but needed somebody to give it the life that I really wanted with the music side. So now we've got our first album out. We've been doing a show called Let's Move It, which gets kids up and moving. Then we started now a mindfulness series called Mindfulness with Liliquin. And it's all like creative mindfulness for kids, like learning how to breathe properly, like almost like a meditative type stuff, but with your eyes open and more for kids.
Right.
So it's like learning how to calm yourself, say you're having, you're not getting what you want. And so it's just all about being present in the moment and being kind to yourself and this kind of stuff.
I love that.
Yeah. So
need more of, right?
Yeah, we started this, and the schools, we have a couple of schools in the area that are really grabbing onto it, and they tell us, oh, we do that in our school now, and the kids really like it. So we feel like we're really onto something,
Awesome. And I remember when we were on Bob the Builder, seeing some of these characters, and I followed along the way.
Bob the Builder was kind of where the cast saw me drawing just characters peeking.
Okay.
They were like, what is this? And I was like, oh, it's something I've been drawing for a while. And they're like, you should do something. And I was like, maybe I should, So it kind of sparked that. And from there, I started to like develop the storylines and, stuff that I learned from Disney, how to develop a character, where do they come from? What's the whole thing? So that's like, let me show you. These are little peeking characters I have over my computer. So this was how they looked for like their whole life until Bob the Builder.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone used to say, what do they look like? And I said, I don't know. Let's figure it out, So now they look like this.
Look at that.
This is
wow. That's great.
Yeah.
A plushie.
It's a plushie.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's the only one right now.
And what's the name?
That's Liliquin.
Liliquin.
So she's kind of like our ambassador to Planet Peekaboo. So she's a character costumed, and she goes out and meets the kids, and then everybody else is animated right now.
Okay. Costume characters, something I have a little experience with.
Yeah. So and really exciting, we're doing a music video shoot for a song called Be Kind to Yourself. And this is going to be our biggest music video shoot we've done. We're kind of calling it a pilot because it's to launch the Mindfulness series.
Okay.
And it's like, it's a simple song, be kind to yourself. There's nobody else like you. It really points out to kids, when you're kind to yourself, you can be kind to others. And I think this is kind of something that kids at heart and families, and we've got a marching band coming to our music video. We're really excited.
Go ahead. All right.
We were down at the St. Pete has this new pier that's been up for about, I think it's been out there for about a year now, remodeled, and it's beautiful.
St. Pete, Florida, right?
Yes,
right.
Yes. And we were thinking this would be a great spot to do our song, because a lot of people gather there and they have like performers come down and, just acrobats, all kinds of stuff. So we're like, this would be cool because it's a very touristy area. And then I saw online a marching band had been there, and I thought, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be awesome to like just have a Be Kind to Yourself parade? So that's
brilliant. Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
You should come down.
I'd love to. We'll talk about trying to coordinate that.
I will send you a flyer.
Oh, there you go. Everybody take a QR, scan it, do it.
We've been passing these out and going down to the pier, and we did a couple of we took Liliquin down there last week just to kind of march out where we're going to go. And so many kids were coming around. And so I think it's going to be a good turnout.
That's so awesome. Well, speaking of I love the positive attitude that I try to maintain that in my everyday life. It is not easy, as I'm sure you well know. And especially in the touring business, there's a lot of adversity to overcome, just to put it in a nutshell. How does Gina remain positive on the road, and maybe give me a specific time where that just overcame and you made it better.
You know, let's see here. The last years I've been actually touring with Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
Doing her wardrobe. Yeah. And that has been quite a awesome experience. Very different than the children's world, obviously.
Oh, I guess. Go ahead.
Yeah. But all those years I'd been with kid shows, and it's like we're all a team. Everybody's like kind of at the same level. We're making this happen, right? If somebody can't make it, somebody else steps in.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking for somebody who every single person on the tour is there because of one person.
Come on.
Like it's
Tell me about that.
It's kind of like this whole mind shift, because you realize like there is nobody out on this tour for anybody else but Mary. Is holding that weight, so that is a big responsibility in itself, just to, if you can't make it, even the arena, all the people that work at the arena, all the crew, the local crew, just everything. So it's a lot of pressure, and I realized that right away, like this woman is holding a lot of pressure, and I'm there as her wardrobe person just to relieve as much of that pressure as I can do.
Okay.
On my side. So, being calm, being setting up the dressing room the same, so that something becomes similar every time we move, because we're in a different city every day. We used to be maybe 2 cities a week.
Yes. And now, and what do you do with Mary J. Blige?
One a day. We might do 4 or 5 shows a week, or maybe 4. It depends on how they book it.
Sure.
3 in a row are rough because she gives so much. By the 3rd one, it's like, go get them. We have to cheer her on. It's like, get out there and go, because it's rough.
Yeah.
But I have to say that when I got on her tour, our tour manager, his name's Huggy, Michael Carter. He's awesome. And when the top is great and you hire people who really know how to do their job, we had a great tour. Like, I have to say, like, it does come from the top. And when the leader gives you permission and knows that you can do your job and you do it, we don't have a lot of problems. We have a lot of fun.
Nice.
Which is why I was there for 12 years, because the people that he brought on the tour, crew, whoever, from the caterer, everything, great people. And we had a lot of fun, It's a hard work, but
sure.
I know I'm not going to be going back, since COVID, we've really ramped up with Peekaboo, and we want to keep that momentum going, and a lot of other things have happened. So it's like, maybe it's time to step off that path for a while.
Yeah.
So.
On to something else.
Yeah. And I have a small side job, which is very exciting. I work at Zoo Tampa.
At the zoo?
I work at the zoo.
Doing what?
I'm friends with Manny the manatee and Flora the Florida panther.
Okay.
Right now, I'm very good friends with Pipsy the penguin, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Well, if you go to the zoo in St. Pete, Florida, look for the penguin.
Look for the penguin. It's in Tampa, but it's
gotcha.
Nice.
Tampa. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but so that's my little. It's kind of to keep me in the entertainment world, and
there you go.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nice.
And on the road, people always laugh, because if I had a day off, I would go to the zoo. I've been to so many zoos around the world, because I'm like, I say, if you put me in a cage, I'd hope you come and see me.
Right? Go ahead. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, so it's a lot of
fun. Well, tell me about being a female in this industry, because there aren't a lot of females as far as I've observed. And I can see where that could be difficult in different ways. How have you made it successful for yourself?
I haven't I'm trying to think. I don't really think I've ever thought of it like that. I
Right
just
on.
kind of, I actually really enjoy it because sometimes, like when you work around a lot of guys, they're not gossiping. They're just kind of doing their job, and then when they're not, they're just talking about things. And
Okay.
so it's kind of fun that way. You know, you don't have to get into gossip. Guys don't really gossip like girls do,
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
or
Yeah.
there's not that drama. You know.
Listen, I got 3 female children.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can relate.
yeah. It's a different way of like going about. You know, like when we're on the tour bus, it's kind of like I like to just sit there. You know, there's usually about 1 or 2 other females on the tour. Like we had an accountant who was maybe the VIP girl, and so we kind of hang a little bit. But it's like it's fun on the bus because they're just talking about stuff that happened, and it's not in the gossipy way. So it's like this is kind of fun, you know. We don't have to deal with that.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's been okay. And everybody always looks out for me, you know. I don't know. I think I have a very character personality, so sometimes they don't know what to think about me. It's just like doing my job, you know.
Well, and I mean that's kind of a a theme across touring. You do the work. It doesn't really matter if you're a female, male, you know, whatever. The show's got to go on.
There's some tough girls out there pushing cases, you know.
Come on. Listen, I hope to have lots of them on.
And you know, the women that I've encountered on tour, they are hard workers.
No doubt. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Please let them know. I'd love to talk to them.
It keeps you in shape, you know, pushing those cases around.
On top of it.
Sometimes, you know, the stage managers say, just put them in the hallway, I'll get them. I say, oh no, I'm taking them to the truck because this is my workout for the day.
Right.
It's 1 in the morning, and I'm like, we're going to the truck. And the case is taller than me.
Well, hey, yeah. Cases, gear is gear, right? It's all got to go to the truck.
Yeah. And you know, wardrobe people, sometimes when we travel overseas, we don't take our cases. So I'll have like 8 suitcases full of all the clothes for the dancers, and it's like piled up on, and and there'll be a crew guy carrying like a bag of wires, you know. And we're like, no, we got this. You know?
It's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, what is in the pipeline for Peekaboo people?
Well, you know, just creating this mindfulness series, getting back on Let's Move It, which we were providing for some schools. It's like a 5-minute get up and move it. So Liliquin would go to, say, like a state park, and we'd have it. And then my partner, Alan, Sparky Starks, he would write the songs and then I would come up with some dance moves. So if we're like, we went to Rainbow Springs, and so I did the rainbow dance, and we saw some butterflies, and, you know, so it's like just fun for kids to stretch and get up. So they were doing it like over Zoom and stuff in schools. So we do some more of that coming up. We do some mindfulness stuff. Yeah, just writing. We're writing music, writing songs. I've got like coloring books on Amazon. Got all kinds of stuff.
Hey, we'll add a link when we post this episode. There you go.
And be kind to yourself.
Nice. So I mean, you obviously stay busy. When you have some downtime.
Yeah.
What do you like to do? What do you do? What did you do on the road? Maybe that you know took you away from it. A little recreation.
A lot of just walking around, sightseeing. You know.
What was some of your favorite places to see on the road? You've been everywhere.
My absolute favorite, number 1 to this day, and is Egypt.
Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay.
The ice show went to Egypt back in the 90s. I went twice for a month at a time. We sat in Cairo, which was absolutely amazing.
In the 90s. Go ahead.
I don't know what's happening. They're not going right now, but
yes.
But
what about Egypt? What about Egypt? I mean,
just amazing.
Most people think desert, sand, maybe
Yeah.
a pyramid or two.
Yeah, the city's cool. I mean, you know, this was the first time Egypt when I realized, like, when they say a free country, it felt like a free country.
Oh, really?
Feels like you could do whatever you want to.
Okay.
I mean, when you're in the museum in Egypt, you could walk right up to statues and touch them. And I was like, should this be allowed? Like, shouldn't somebody put a gate around this? Like,
Yeah.
this is old. Like, don't touch that. Like, you see kids climbing on stuff and you're like, do you think that you should touch that? Like at the pyramids in Giza, like there you could go right up and like stick your hand right into the rock. I was like, we should not probably touch that. But it just felt like they don't have like, I don't know. Maybe there's gates around it now. I haven't been there for a while.
Yeah. Well, 2021, things are definitely different. Who knows though?
Yeah. So
how about the food over there? I always like to eat food on the road, right?
the food was so good there. Just fresh, really fresh. You know, I noticed this one thing is that when you go out of the country in certain smaller countries where maybe they don't mass produce their food, like like lettuce has a taste, you know. Different foods just have taste in them. I don't know, maybe they're not mass growing and pesticides all over everything, and you know, it's just a different way.
Likely.
Yeah.
Likely.
And it's just those weird little things, you know, that you notice and you go, wow, we need to get back to that.
Yeah, maybe. Tell me about a place where maybe you weren't so enthused about the food. You were like, oh boy. And how did you deal with that?
Food. Well, I'll tell you,
go ahead.
I'm trying to think. I've been a vegetarian now since 1986, which when I joined the road.
Oh.
And it's easier because even when you go to different countries, you know, there's different bacteria that our bodies aren't used to. So if you don't eat certain things, you don't really get affected like a lot of people who do eat that stuff. So that's been helpful, I think.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of food when we went to Mexico, a lot of people were getting sick from just eating like lettuce or just watery foods because you're not supposed to, because the water has different bacteria than we're used to.
Yes. Yes.
I never had any of those problems, thank God, you know. But
yeah, right.
I don't know. I love the food in Japan. You know, sometimes you get to a country that's so different than ours, and it like the food that they eat it just really resonated with me. And I actually got a little depressed when I got home because I was like, sushi is really expensive here. And like you can go into 7-Eleven there and just grab stuff, and it's just easy.
And it's good.
And it's good. Yeah. Yeah. Some countries eat so much better than we do.
So if Gina wasn't in the entertainment business, what would she do?
I don't really know. Huh.
What goals you got right now? What do you got on the horizon besides you got Peekaboo, obviously always staying moving and making it happen, but
it feels like that this Planet Peekaboo thing is really a big mission. You know, it's a brand that wants to be Sesame Street, or it wants to be in the world doing what a lot of these kids shows do. And I think that it's really important to like, for me to stay the course on this. You know, I don't have my own kids. These are my kids. And I feel like they could really affect a lot of kids and families, and the response that I get from them is so positive that it feels like this is the mission, you know, is to get this out there, to make people have fun, to really bring awareness to being kind to themselves and have fun. And then the other thing we do is we peek into learning. So when you're peeking into learning, you never stop peeking into learning. Everything, anything, you know, investigating, it keeps you young. So it's like, so we want to create kind of like this idea that you peek into stuff that you're interested in at a young age, so that as you get older, it's like a thing you do, you know, you just keep going with that. And
a good habit.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say that on interviews like Goldie Hawn and different people, like, oh, they're always learning something, you know. It's like, oh yeah, and that made me feel like, okay, we're on the right path, because that's an important message that, you know, some people, they retire, they don't even know what they like to do. And so if you're just peeking into learning all the time, it's like, what is that, you know? And then you might say, oh, I don't really like that. I just peeked into it. Maybe I'd go over here, you know? So that's kind
Great.
of what we want to get going, you know? And our big goal is a show that's like a variety show. Like, I don't know if you remember Zoom, or
Yeah.
we're a lot of different little things. Like, so
Uh-huh.
you might be doing the alphabet, but it's really fun and groovy and funky.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing, you know? It's a big undertaking. We need, the biggest challenge right now is to get some backing to move this really forward. I mean, there's two of us. There's me and Alan, who's, everyone knows him as Sparky.
Okay.
We're two people pushing this forward, which, you know, we need to gain more people to help us with this kind of initiative to move forward. But we're searching for the, you know, like-minded people who want to put this everywhere we go. The parents are like, we need this. And like, okay, come with us.
Well, listen, everybody, we're hearing it here. If you're interested, I'm sure you are. If you know how to help, get in touch. We'll drop some links. Pardon me. I had a show last night. Speaking of
Yeah.
voice rest, had one Wednesday in last night, and you know.
You know, I was looking at, I read an article that an interview that you had done, and because I haven't seen you for so many years, and I was like, look at him go. I was like, you really are doing some cool stuff.
Thank you very much. I was fortunate, and pardon me, I was fortunate to work with people like you that were really supportive of me when I came in on a tour that was well established, and I don't know how well known it was that it was going to be the end. I don't think it was, but when I got on, I think it was kind of a surprise for everyone, as far as I knew.
It was pretty shocking, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You get such a great cast together, and you know, the show, it went back out, and it really did well. I don't know what happened there, you know. It was kind of a weird thing.
Man, I'd love that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we and hopefully I can get some more people from that tour on.
You know who I'm really still in touch with is Tiz.
Yes, well, every once in a while we'll exchange a message, but you got to tell Tiz that we gotta do it. That's one of my favorite people. Him and Richard.
I know. I don't know where Richard is. I see Fran on. Was she there? Fran?
She wasn't. No, she was gone.
There was a few people here.
Graham, Richard, and Tiz, and Andreas.
Andreas
was still there.
You see, I see people on Facebook. You know.
Yes. Yes.
And we speak, and he's been doing some character work too. So he cracks me up.
Yeah.
He sent me a video of him as the baby shark a couple days ago. I was like, you go get that baby shark.
Go get that baby shark.
I know, we're still being characters. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, Gina, I really appreciate your time. It was so good to talk to you again. Good to have you on.
Thank you. Yeah.
Everybody, check out Peekaboo, people. Where can we check you out? Go ahead and give a plug.
planetpeekaboo.com. And that's where all of our links to everything to go to YouTube. And I have a silly TikTok channel that I started, just Liliquin being silly and having fun. You know, there's a lot of talk about like, is this good for kids? But you know, the technology, you can't fight it, right? It's there.
Come on.
And so what I say is like, well, then I'll flood the market with fun and with goodness and and fun stuff. I don't, you know, we're not shaking anything. We're just dancing. We're having fun. And if kids are looking, hopefully they're looking at Planet Peekaboo.
There it is.
And that they know that there's a place where some just good silliness is, you know, and something positive out there.
I love that.
PlanetPeekaboo.com will show you everything.
PlanetPeekaboo.com.
Yeah.
Gina Barker. Finally.
Barker baker. I've been a baker my whole life.
Well, it only took me it only took me 18 years to figure it out. I apologize for the delay,
No worries.
but you're amazing. Love you. Thanks for being here. Stay well.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. See you next time.
Speak to
Thanks
you
for
later.
pushing cases.